What's up, you guys? It's Nasim here. Now, today I'm going to be giving you guys my final review on the iPhone 13 mini. Now, before I give you guys my final review, there was one question that kept coming to my mind when I was using this phone, and that's, why isn't this the best iPhone in the iPhone lineup in the year of 2021? Because yes, we do know that the iPhone 13 series as a whole is the best that Apple has to offer, but a lot of times we never ask ourselves which of these phones are the best in terms of value and usability. And when I asked myself this question, the iPhone 13 mini gave me the exact answer I was looking for. It has amazing battery, an amazing camera, an amazing processor, amazing software, and even an amazing look, while having the most important factor, an amazing price. And while you guys may be looking at me like I'm crazy, I'm going to give you some of the reasons why I think that the iPhone 13 mini is more than likely the best iPhone that you can get in the year of 2021. Number 1, the camera. Now, the camera on the iPhone 13 not only has amazing features that the iPhone 13 Pro has, but it also has quality that I think a lot of people would appreciate, especially when compared to the 13 Pro. And when it comes to the quality of the photos, I wanted to show you guys how well the iPhone 13 performed in different environments. So I decided to take photos in 2 different settings. The first setting is morning/afternoon, outside photos and inside photos, and at night, inside photos and outside photos. Now, starting with the inside photos that I took in the morning/afternoon, I would say that they performed very well, like as you can see here, because the sun provides very good lighting. The sensors on the camera were able to take advantage by giving me some really clean photos. I also noticed that they were very sharp, and when it came to certain angles, I would often get some yellowing, so tell me if you guys can see the difference. Moving on to the outside morning/afternoon shots of the 13 mini camera, this is where I can really say that this phone excelled, because this is clearly the peak of its sharpness. Like as you can see, even the different fruits were looking very crisp. The lighting was of course the best that these sensors could take advantage of, because they are easily the most well lit photos that I have taken on an iPhone. And last but not least, the colors on the primary subjects were as vibrant as ever, giving us a feeling that is very colorful while also having a sense of realism with each photo. Now, moving on to the next environmental setting, the night mode photos is what the true test of the iPhone 13 mini cameras can do, because primary subjects are harder to capture and there just isn't enough light to be able to take the best photos. So I wanted to see how much strain night mode photos would put on the iPhone 13 mini's camera. And speaking of intense difficulty, when we look at the inside photos, which are the hardest of all, we can see that it held up pretty well whenever dealing with low light. Like as you can see, here are some pictures that I took throughout my house, and even though they weren't as crisp as the daytime photos, you can still tell that they were amazing high quality, especially for having to deal with low light. The colors were also pretty great because they weren't off too much from reality, and you can tell that night mode did a lot of adjusting by trying their best to give these photos light, and in some cases it succeeded, and in others, it didn't. But I still say this, these photos are much better when in comparison to other competitors, so I have no complaints there. Next up, let's move on to the second hardest environment of them all, the complete night mode photos. Now, as you guys can see, this is where the night mode really excelled, because these photos are much lighter in comparison to reality, and this is because Apple wanted you to really be able to see what's going on at night. Like right here, I took these photos in complete darkness, but because of night mode, they look like I had a light shine on me from an outer source. And this was a really nice thing to see, because a lot of other phone companies have a lot of difficulties when it comes to night photos, but I'm glad to see that Apple is taking a further step in the right direction. So now that we've gotten the quality of photos out of the way, let's move on to what I think is the best of the best, the iPhone mini's video camera. Now, instead of me slowly talking about the video quality with you guys, I honestly have just decided to give you guys footage on the video cameras in different settings that I talked about during the day, inside and outside, and at night, inside and outside. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Nasim here. Now, this is the inside during the day, and as you can see, it plays very well off light. And here it is without light. Still pretty cool, but you know, usually people want to play off light, so as long as you play off light, it's good. All right, you guys, so this is night mode inside the house. You can see a lot of pixels right now, but it's inside the house. All right, you guys, so this is what it looks like outside, kind of in the shade right now. And As you can see, looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. Alright, so now that we've discussed the amazing quality that the iPhone 13 mini's cameras have, let's talk about features. Now, the first feature that pops up when you first open your iPhone camera is called Photographic Styles. And to access this feature, all you have to do is tap on the arrow to view more settings and hit the multi-window button. And from there, this lets you choose between 5 different camera modes, starting with the standard style that looks like any other iPhone photo. Then you have the quote-unquote rich contrast, which makes your photo much more colorful instead of the blander looking standard mode. Then you have the vibrant mode, which makes your photos very light with a little bit of contrast to even it out. Then there's the warm, which gives your photos the right amount of contrast, but not too much like on the rich contrast mode. And last but not least, we have the cool mode, where this gives your picture the least amount of contrast, but it also gives a very chill aesthetic that usually works for outside settings. And honestly, the mode that I liked the most was the vibrant mode because it really gave me some really great lighting, especially during the day. And here are some pics that I took throughout my day of other modes to give you guys an idea what you think would be best for you. Now, the next big feature that Apple released with the iPhone 13 mini was the very hyped cinematic mode. And if I'm really being honest with you guys, I already knew it was going to suck when I first got the phone. And if you guys don't know what cinematic mode is, it's basically a video mode that lets you switch focus between the primary and secondary subject to give off a very cinematic feel. And if I'm being honest, there were a lot of times where this feature worked, and there also were a lot of times where it failed because it would often be too late to switch or not switch at all. And I found this to be a crucial downer because there may be a crucial moment where the shot was perfect, but the switch wasn't on time, so you just have to post edit it, but you can only edit in the Apple made app, which I found to be too basic, so it just didn't work for me. And I wanted to give you guys an extra preview of the cinematic mode just so you have an even clearer idea of what it is. See, sometimes it doesn't work, so you may be on a good shot, but it may or may not catch it in time. See right there, it's very blurry. Now, another major improvement that I felt like I didn't touch enough on my previous review was the very small but amazing 5.4 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And one thing that I must admit about both the iPhone 12 mini and the 13 mini was that upon my first impressions with both devices, I initially hated the small stature that they both had, and it made me hate the phone as a whole due to my larger hands. But once I got used to the smaller screen and started using it to my advantage, I grew very fond of it and realized that the smaller screen didn't make the display any less great than it already was. Now, one thing that I really liked about the 5.4 inch display was just how vibrant the colors were. Like, as you can see, here's the home screen, and it just gives off such an amazing vibrancy that I found my eyes often glued to the screen. Also, the very high resolution made the screen of great quality, especially whenever I will watch high quality tech videos or any other 4K video for that matter. And the vibrancy really showed whenever I was playing video games like Subway Surfer or Crossy Road. Also, the notch is a bit smaller this time around, but honestly, this didn't make that much of a difference for me and I got used to it very quick. But besides that, it was a very smooth screen all around and gave me a much better feeling as time went on. Now, the final thing that I wanted to get into when it comes to the iPhone 13 mini was the speakers. The speakers on the iPhone 13 mini were honestly very loud for its size, and I was extremely happy because I usually show my friends videos and music from my phone, and this phone did very well with not only the loudness, but the quality. And to show you guys what I mean, here it is, a sound test for the iPhone 13 mini.
And it's pretty intense. So Red actually has this sort of TikTok cycle where they upgrade the sensors inside the cameras that they design, and then also the camera body itself, but not at the same time. So this camera body has the same massive 8K VistaVision sensor as DSMC2.
And there it is, you guys. My final review of the iPhone 13 mini. Now, let me know down in the comments. Is this the best iPhone 13 in the iPhone 13 series? Based on the reasons I gave you, let me know down below. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.